भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाग्रये। हरे कृष्णा। Welcome all of you all for our SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM series. So today we are going to discuss Canto 1, Chapter 17, entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. So last week we did Chapter 16, and we saw in Chapter 16 how King Parikshit, as an ideal ruler, he was wandering around his kingdom to see that everyone is following the principles of dharma. And what does Parikshit see at that time? He sees Kali in the form of dressed in the dress of a king, hurting the legs of a cow and a bull. And Parikshit is about to chastise Kali. So Shaunaka Rishi is asking Sutta Goswami, why did Parikshit only punish Kali and not kill him? That was the question. And in answer to that, Sutta Goswami describes the movement of Parikshit Maharaj. And he describes that as he was moving, he came across this cow and bull. And this cow is Dharani or Dharti, and the bull is Dharma. So we saw the conversation between Dharma and Dharti. And Dharma asked a lot of questions to Dharti. Why are you suffering? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? And we saw in those questions were answers also of what would be the symptoms in Kali Yuga. And then finally, Dharti Mata, Dharani, she expresses her pain that now in separation from Lord Krishna, she is really lamenting. And because of the separation from Lord Krishna, she also understands that Kali Yuga has infiltrated. So she, Dharti, is the mother of everyone. So she feels for the suffering of all her children in the age of Kali. So in this way, as the discussion is going on between Dharti and Dharma, Parikshit happens to come there. So that was the overview of chapter 16, which we had done last week. So today we will get into chapter 17, which is called Punishment and Reward of Kali. So the first 16 verses describe how Parikshit Maharaj, as an ideal king, decided to chastise Kali. Text 1. Suta Uvacha. The verse is there on the screen. Tatra go mitunam raja anyamanam anatavat dandahastam cha vrishalam dadarshir palanchanam. So Sutta Goswami said, after reaching that place, Parikshit Maharaj saw that a low class Shudra, someone who's not trained, he dressed like a king and he was beating a cow and a bull with a club, as if the cow didn't have, or the cow and bull didn't have any other owner, Anatavat. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Prabhupada in this particular purport and in the next few purports, Prabhupada explains the signs of Kali Yuga, which we saw even in the previous chapter and which will come in this chapter. So Prabhupada says the first sign of Kali Yuga is that low class men, without any proper spiritual initiation, they will be in the post of a Kshatriya. They will be the rulers. We find in our Vedic culture, kings, even the children of kings, they would go to a Gurukul. And in the Gurukul, they would get proper training. We see that Lord Krishna, Sudama, they went to the Gurukul. And then someone becomes a king. So even a king needs proper training. But in Kali Yuga, you will have people who are Kshatriyas who have absolutely no training. So this is the first thing that Prabhupada mentions. And the second thing is, in Kali Yuga, the characteristics is the bulls and cows will be unprotected by these Kshatriyas. And Prabhupada explains how cow is our mother and bull is like our father, because the cow gives milk and the bull is nowadays not used, but the bull is actually used for tilling land, growing grains. So therefore, the cow and bull is the father and mother. So if a society doesn't know to protect cow and bull, what kind of society this is? But this is what will happen in Kali Yuga. The kings who are supposed to protect, we saw in the previous chapter, a king's responsibility is not only to protect human beings, but to protect everyone, and especially cows and bulls. But we'll find in Kali Yuga that cows and bulls, during Parikshit's time, he saw one cow and bull being hurt. But in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada explains organized slaughterhouses for killing cows and bulls. Text 2. Vrisham mrinalam davalam mehantam iva bibyatam vepamanam padaikena sidantam shudram taditam. This bull, which was as white as a lotus flower, very white in color, this bull was very, very scared. Bibyantam. And because of its fear, the bull was urinating and was trembling in fear. So Prabhupada writes, this is the next symptom of Kali Yuga. Dharma, this bull represents dharma. And the dharma is characterized by spotlessly white. So dharma means white. But in Kali Yuga, dharma will be continuously attacked by this Shudra-like Kshatriyas. That's what is happening in Kali Yuga. Continuous attack on dharma. And Prabhupada writes here, in the name of being secular, what does the principle of secular mean? Everyone can practice their own religion. But Prabhupada writes, in the name of being secular, no one will practice any religion and people will become atheistic. And no one will have any respect for Sadhu Shastra Guru. So in this way, this bull is standing on one leg. Padaikena, you can see this word, Padaikena. It is standing on one leg. That means the principles of Kali Yuga is continuously diminishing. The principles of dharma is diminishing in Kali Yuga. Text 3. Gam cha dharma dugam dina Vrisham shudra padahatam Vivatsam ashru vadanam Shamam yavasam ichchatim. So we saw the condition of the bull, dharma. What is the condition of the bull? The bull, dharma, will be standing on one leg. Three principles of dharma, three pillars of dharma gone. And dharma is very fearful in Kali Yuga, because dharma doesn't know who is the next person who is going to attack it. And what is the condition of Dharti Mata, the cow? Here it says, Gam cha dharma dugam dinam. So, dharma dugam means from the cow, not milk is drawn. From the cow, it is written here, dharma is drawn. So Prabhupada writes here, when we milk a cow and that milk properly is consumed by people, when the cow is milked in a proper way, that milk is very useful for the proper brain tissues that help us develop qualities for spirituality. And Prabhupada writes here that previously sadhus would go from house to house, and every grahastha, every sanatani would have a cow and a bull in their house, and they would freely give milk to the sadhus. And the sadhus would have one glass of milk, that's enough for the day. But in Kali Yuga, this cow, which is Dharti, she is rendered without any calf. Vivatsam, no calf. And she has tears in her eyes. Ashru vadanam. And this cow has become very, very weak, shamam. And this cow has a great desire to have proper grass, but there is not even proper grass for the cows. And Prabhupada writes in the purport how in Kali Yuga cows are treated so bad. Calves, when is the cow happy? So when we say that the milk is proper milk, when the cow is very, very satisfied, seeing that the calf is fed, and then that milk is removed, then that milk is very, very nutritious. But nowadays the cow is not at all satisfied, because Prabhupada mentions here the calf is separated from the cow as early as possible, and some artificial, some semblance of a calf is placed there, and artificially, the milk is removed. So in this way, the cow is completely in distress. And Prabhupada mentions here, people in Kali Yuga don't understand that unless we keep the cows and bulls happy, no one can be happy in Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada writes, foolish people do not know how one earns happiness by making the cows and bulls happy. This is the law of nature. And Prabhupada says, let us take the authority of SRIMAD Bhagavatam and follow the principles of total happiness. The principles of total happiness is to give protection to the cows and bulls. So Parikshit as an ideal king is very, very conscious. Are the cows and the bulls happy? This is the barometer of any proper society. Text 4. Papracharatam arudha kartaswara parichadam mega gambira yavacha samaropita karmuka. So Parikshit Maharaj was well equipped with bows and arrows. So Prabhupada writes here that a king, in order to set the principles of dharma, he has to have power also. If you have a king with no power, then what he is going to do? Even if you have the best of the kings and no power, what can you do? You can't do anything. But Parikshit Maharaj was equipped with bows and arrows. And Parikshit Maharaj, he spoke with great power, with a deep thundering voice. He started to speak to Kali. Text 5. What did he speak to Kali? It is explained here. His question. Kastvam macharanye loke baladhamsi abalan bali naradevosi veshena natavat karmana dvija. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Kali, Kastvam, who are you? You appear to be very strong, but you dare to kill people who are helpless. So the word is Bala Damsi Abalan Bali. You are very, very strong, but what are you doing? You are harming the people who are weak. And you are dressed like a godly man, but your activities are completely ungodly. So this is Kali Yuga, the characteristic of Kshatriya in Kali Yuga. Real strength. What is real strength? Real strength is to protect the weak. If you use your strength to exploit the weak, that's not at all strength. And real godliness is not dressed as in godliness, but where there is actual qualities of godliness. There's a very interesting story in the Mahabharata, one of the folk stories. One time, there was one person who came to Bhima and he asked Bhima, I have a puzzle for you. And what is the puzzle? He said, there is a bucket of water. I put that bucket of water in 5 pots. When I put this water back from the pots to the bucket, it is only half filled. The bucket is half filled. What is the meaning of this? And he said, the second thing he said, there is a fence, and this fence which is protecting the field is entering into the field. What does this mean? And then he said, third thing, I take a needle, pass an elephant through the needle. The whole elephant goes in, but the tail gets stuck. And then he says the fourth thing, there's one small boy with a small rope, he moves a mountain. What is the meaning of all this? So Bhima said, I don't know, let's go to Yudhishthir. And Yudhishthir explained what's the meaning of all this. Yudhishthir said, these are the qualities of Kali Yuga. What are the qualities of Kali Yuga? The first thing was, a bucket of water is filled into pots. When it is filled back, it is only half. So that means the characteristics of Kali Yuga, people take, but when it's time for them to return, they don't have gratitude to return it back. And the second thing, offense. Offense is supposed to protect the field. A Kshatriya is one who protects citizens. But Prabhupada writes in Kali Yuga, a Kshatriya who is called a Rakshak. This Kshatriya Rakshak will become a Bhakshak. He will start to exploit. And Prabhupada, you will see in the 11th canto of SRIMAD Bhagavatam, 11th, 12th canto, the symptoms of Kali Yuga further explained. People will run away to the forest, leaving the cities, because it will be so chaotic in cities, living under this cruel Kshatriyas. So the fence starts to eat the field. And the third thing of Kali Yuga, an elephant passes through the needle, the tail gets stuck. You know what's the meaning of it? The meaning is, people who do big crime escape. People with small crime get caught. That is characteristic of Kali Yuga. People who do crores of fraud, they escape. A small guy will get caught. So Kali Yuga is practically a place where there is too many faults. But the only one good quality of Kali Yuga is, just like with a small rope, this boy moved a mountain. Only with the holy name of Krishna, you can move mountains of sin. And Prabhupada explains towards the end of this, the conclusion of this chapter is only this. We find in the Bhagavatam, in the cantos ahead, the shloka comes. What is that verse? Kalir dosha nide rajan asti ek mahan gunat kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajit. So Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, unlimited faults. We are seeing just some of this. So many faults in Kali Yuga. But there's only one good quality in Kali Yuga. And what is that? By chanting the names of Krishna, one can get liberated. So Parikshit, why he didn't kill Kali Yuga? One of the questions the sages asked Parikshit, Sudha Goswami is, why did Parikshit not kill Kali? Because Parikshit knew that Kali Yuga is bad, but Kali Yuga is equally good. And what is the good in Kali Yuga? By chanting the holy names, one can get freed from Kali. So Parikshit said, let me not focus on the bad, let me focus on this. And Parikshit Maharaj increased the preaching, increased the Krishna consciousness in his kingdom. So Prabhupada writes, so therefore, the only hope for people of Kali Yuga is that we can spread the movement of this Krishna consciousness more and more. Text 6. Yastvam Krishna gate duram sah gandiva danvana sochasi ashochan rahasi praharan vadam arhasi. So Parikshit Maharaj tells Kali, you rogue, you dare to beat an innocent cow only because Lord Krishna and Arjuna is far away. That's why you think that you can do this. And Parikshit Maharaj tells him, you are a culprit because in a secluded place, far away from everyone, you are trying to do this act. So Prabhupada writes here that in a civilization where Krishna and Arjuna are ejected out, when you don't have Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Arjuna is the Vaishnavas. So Prabhupada writes there that in a civilization where God and God's devotees are ejected out, what will happen? Kali Yuga will enter. So the only way to stop Kali, that Prabhupada mentions here, is we should have Krishna personally present. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. So wherever Krishna is present, the sun is present, there cannot be any darkness. So Parikshit is saying, just because Krishna is not there, you are thinking you can take advantage of the situation. So in this way, Parikshit is asking Kali. And before Kali Yuga answers, Parikshit now turns to the bull and is asking the bull about his identity. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, text 7, Tvam Vamranala Davala Pader Nyuna Padancharan Vrisharupena Kim Kaschet Devo Na Parikedayan. On top it should be the bull. So Maharaj Parikshit asked the bull, who are you? You are as white as a lotus flower. Are you a demigod? You have lost 3 legs and you're moving in 1 leg. Are you some demigod causing us grief? So Prabhupada writes in the purport, at least up to the time of Parikshit Maharaj, no one could imagine a bull and a cow being tortured. No one could imagine this. Now these things have become very common for Parikshit Maharaj. This was like a big shock that someone can harm a cow and a bull. He just couldn't imagine this. So in this way, he's asking the bull, Dharma, who are you? Text 8. Na jatu kauravendrana dordanda parirambite bhutale nupatanti asmin vinate praninam shucha. So Parikshit says, we can see this. He says, for the first time in the kingdom, there is someone who is going unprotected. First time in this Kuru dynasty, there is someone with tears. Till now, no one has cried because of royal negligence. That was the kingdom of Yudhishthir Maharaj and King Parikshit. He couldn't tolerate this fact that someone is grieving in his kingdom. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport, the government's duty is not only to protect human beings, but to protect animals also. But Prabhupada explains in Kali Yuga now, what to speak of animals not being protected. There is organized slaughterhouse for animals. Organized slaughterhouses. Text 9. So 9 to 11. Now Parikshit Maharaj pacifies both the cow and the bull. Ma sora bedyatra shucho vetu te vrashalat bhayam ma rodir amba bhadram te kalana mai sastari. So Parikshit is saying, is addressing the bull, O son of Surabhi, you do not have to lament now. There is no need to fear this low class Shudra. As long as I am living as the ruler, there is no need for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. And then Prabhupada explains here, Parikshit Maharaj is talking to the bull also and is talking to the cow also. He calls the bull the son of Surabhi and he calls the cow mother. And Prabhupada explains, this is culture. This is culture where the cow is treated as mother. But when you treat a cow as an animal, when you see the cow as an animal, everything is lost. So Prabhupada explains on this purport. When you'll get time, please go back and read the purport. So Prabhupada explains there's a big difference between the kings of those times, Parikshit Maharaj, and the kings now. Huge difference of mindset and culture. The culture is so very different. So Prabhupada explains here, protection of cows and bulls and all other animals is only possible when the government is ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Parikshit. Otherwise, there is no hope. And Prabhupada mentions here, just like, we are made in the image of God. In Bible you have, man is made in the image of God, right? So we have this human-like form because Krishna, the Supreme Lord, also has like a human-like form. Similarly, the cows in this world are made in the image of Surabhi guy. And Surabhi cows live in the spiritual world. Brahma Samhita explains, Surabhi Rabi Palayantam. Krishna herds these Surabhi cows. So Prabhupada explains here, so Krishna, this mantra of Krishna, Go Brahmana Idhayacha. Krishna is what? Krishna is the friend of the cows and the Brahmanas. And Prabhupada mentions here, if we want to please Krishna, the easiest way is to please the cows and the bulls. When we preserve the cows and bulls, keep them happy, Krishna is very, very satisfied. So Parikshit Maharaj tells them, do not lament, I am there. Text 10 and 11. Yasya rashtre praja sarvas krashyante sadhavi asadubhi tasya mattasya nashyanti kirtir ayu bhagogati esha ragyam paro dharmo hi artanam arti nigraha Ata enam vadishyami bhutadruham asattamam. So King Parikshit's faith and the kind of training and the kind of education he has had, he says, O chaste one, a king's good name, duration of life, rebirth, punya, everything is destroyed when innocent are not protected. Kirti ayu bhago gati nashyanti. So this is the responsibility of a king. So when someone takes up that position, it's very important that people under him are protected. So the king is saying, King Parikshit is saying, it's my first duty to protect people who are innocent. And those people who are suffering, to cure the suffering is my first duty. So Prabhupada explains here that just like, you have a wild, suppose a tiger enters into a city, a village, and it's like practically killing everyone. What do? They will practically kill the tiger. Similarly, when a miscreant enters into a place and he does all these atrocities, it's the duty of the king to be very strong and give a strong punishment. So King Parikshit, he is a pure devotee. His heart is very, very soft, but not soft for these miscreants. So Prabhupada explains in many places, a Kshatriya is not supposed to practice non-violence. The principle of non-violence is for a Brahmana. A Kshatriya is supposed to be violent. Kshatrayate iti Kshatriya. What is the definition of a Kshatriya? Kshatrayate iti Kshatriya. A Kshatriya is one who protects others from hurt. So here Kali is hurting the cow and the bull. Kshatriya's duty is to protect such people. So King Parikshit, as an ideal Kshatriya, is assuring the cow and the bull, don't worry, I am there, I will give you all justice. Text 12. From 12 on, Parikshit Maharaj, this is a very important section. Parikshit is asking the bull. See, you see the scene here. Kali is there, and Kali Yuga, this Kali personified as a club in his hand, and is torturing the cow and the bull. But Parikshit wants to know from the mouth of the bull, tell me that this guy has brought suffering to you, I will punish. But here we will see something very, very important for us to follow. Text 12. Ko vrishchat tava padam strin saurabhye chatuspada ma bhuvam stvadrisha rashtre ragyam krishnanuvartinam. So Parikshit Maharaj now turns to the bull and he says, my dear bull, the son of Surabhi, tell me who has cut your 3 legs. And he says, in the kingdom where the laws of God are being followed, Ragyam Krishnanu. So Parikshit, how does he explain his kingdom? He's saying, I am a king who follows the codes of Krishna, Krishnanu Vartina. And Prabhupada explains here, this is an ideal king. An ideal king is one who knows the mission of human life and he follows Krishna's plan. And how do you understand Krishna's plan? Prabhupada explains, first is Bhagavad Gita and second is Bhagavatam. So king is a representative of God. It is very important that the king follows the instructions of Krishna. Krishna has spoken Gita, Bhagavad so that everyone can be happy. And what is the duty of a government? A king, his main idea is that people should be happy. Just giving facilities to people will not make people happy. So Krishna is explaining these principles. So Bhagavad Gita is not only meant for a certain religion. Bhagavad Gita is a universal book. It's the codes of life, how this world works. So Prabhupada explains, when a king follows the principles of Krishna, then practically everyone can be happy. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking this bull, please tell me who has caused your suffering. Text 13. Akyahi vrishabhadram va sadhunam akritagasam atma vairupya kartaram artanam kirti dushasam. O bull, you are sadhunam, you are very, very honest, and akrita agasam, you are very offenseless. So therefore I wish you good. Bhadram va. Please tell me who is blackmailing the reputation of the Pandavas. Because these Pandavas, Prabhupada mentions here, they had a great reputation. And what was the reputation? The reputation was every innocent person was protected. So Parikshit is saying, this person here, he is blackmailing the reputation of the entire Kuru dynasty. So Prabhupada mentions here, Parikshit Maharaj is very afraid of losing his reputation, good reputation. And Prabhupada mentions, but in today's days, people are not even interested in their reputation. So in this way, Parikshit is asking this bull. Text 14. Jane nagasi agam yunjam sarvatosya chatma bhayam sadhu nam bhadram evasya asadhu damane krite. So Parikshit is so confident, he says, whoever causes pain to the offenseless must fear me. I will punish them and I will protect the offenseless. So these are two duties of the king. What are the two duties of the king? Just like Lord Krishna comes to protect the sadhus and to annihilate the miscreants. So similarly, a king is a representative of Krishna. His duty is to protect the offenseless and to give punishment to the miscreants. So you see the words here, asadhu damane. So those who are asadhu, damane, control them, punish them. Sadhu nam bhadram, and those who have sadhu vritti, protect them. So these are two duties of the king. So therefore Prabhupada explains here, when we preach Krishna consciousness and people gradually become sadhus, right? The whole idea of Krishna consciousness is that people become sadhus. More people become sadhus, the society will become very, very happy. Text 15. Anaghasva iha bhuteshu ya agas krindirankusha arhatamsi bhujam sakshat amrityasyapi sangatam. So Parikshit Maharaj says, you tell me who has caused you suffering. Even if this person is a demigod, even if he stays in heaven, I will go and punish him, I will destroy him. So Parikshit is so courageous. The word here used is Amara. Amara refers to a demigod. Amara basically means deathless. Prabhupada mentions here, it's not that the demigods are deathless, but they have a very, very long life. So Parikshit is saying, I am ready to challenge even the demigods if he has done something wrong. So in this way, a Kshatriya, we are seeing the principles of a Kshatriya here. A Kshatriya is someone who is very, very courageous and is ready to do the needful to protect the innocent. Text 16, the supreme duty of a king. Ragyo hi paramo dharma swadharma stanupalanam shashtonyan yata shastram anapadi utpatan iha. So again, that same principle. The supreme duty of the king is to protect those who follow scriptures, law-abiding scriptures, and to curtail, chastise those who do not follow scriptures even in ordinary times. So Prabhupada mentions here, these are two duties of the king. So the word shashan basically means to rule. The word shashan comes from shastra. So in order to rule, you have to refer to the scriptures. We were discussing this is the 17th chapter of the first canto. We were discussing the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about divine and demonic nature. And how does Lord Krishna define a demon and a devotee? Devata, Asura. How does Lord Krishna define? Very simple. Lord Krishna says, one who follows scriptures is a Devata. And one who doesn't follow scriptures, lives on his own whimsically, is a demon. Simple. So in this way, the word Shashato Syan Yata Shastram. So Parikshit is saying that I am ruling based on the Shastra. And those who follow the Shastra, just like people who follow the constitution, those who follow the rules, the citizens, they are called law-abiding citizens. Similarly, people who live according to the scriptures, they are the ones who are abiding the laws of Krishna. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, I am ready to punish those who don't follow scriptures even when there is no emergency. And this emergency is called apad dharma. There is a natural time and there is an emergency. Naturally, the principle is one doesn't indulge in meat eating. When there is an extreme emergency, you may do it. But when there is no emergency, why you have to break the rule? There is no need. So in this way, what is Parikshit asking here? Parikshit is asking the bull, please tell me clearly who has caused your suffering. Identify the culprit. I am ready to punish him. text 17 onwards, Parikshit, now Dharma is explaining the cause of his suffering. Very beautiful section. Text 17. Dharma uvacha etatva pandaveyana yuktam artha bhayam vacha yesham gane krishno dotyadho bhagavan krita. So Dharma, now this bull, can you imagine this? This bull is standing on one leg, but this bull is telling Parikshit, what you have spoken is befitting a person in the Pandava dynasty. You are the right person in the Pandava dynasty. And the bull says, captivated by such qualities of the Pandavas, Lord Krishna even became the messenger and a servant of the Pandavas. So in this way the bull is glorifying Parikshit Maharaj. So Prabhupada explains here, the assurances and challenges of Parikshit were not exaggeration. These were his real power. Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashyati. Whatever a devotee speaks is never false. Krishna will see that it is true. So Prabhupada is mentioning here that Parikshit Maharaj's assurance of protection is not false. Definitely Krishna will fulfill Parikshit Maharaj's words. And Prabhupada mentions because a devotee, and why does Krishna fulfill the words of his devotees? Why does Krishna give protection to the devotees? Because such devotees are completely surrendered to Krishna. Why did Krishna become the servant, the chariot driver, the well-wisher, the messenger of the Pandavas? Because the Pandavas were completely surrendered to Lord Krishna. So therefore Lord Krishna was also ready to do anything for the Pandavas. So the Dharma is congratulating Parikshit that you are the right person in the Pandav dynasty. You are continuing the legacy of the Pandavas. Text 18. Navayam klesha bijani yatasyu paurusharshaba paurusham tat vijanimo vakya beda vimohita. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking the bull, tell me who is the culprit who has done this. So the bull says, there are many different opinions about who has caused our suffering. And he's saying it's very difficult to ascertain who is the cause of our suffering. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are many theories about cause and effect. Why do people suffer or why do people experience happiness in this world? There are different reasons, different philosophies. So basically these are called Shad Darshan, 6 philosophies that are there. The first philosophy is the philosophy of Kanad, who is the author of Vaisheshika philosophy. The second philosophy is the philosophy of Gautama, who is the author of logic, Nyaya. Patanjali, he has his philosophy of Yoga Shastra. Then there is Kapila Muni, who has his philosophy of Sankhya. Then there is Jaimani, who has his philosophy of Karma Mimamsa. And Vyasdev, who has written Vedanta. We will see what these philosophies are. So Prabhupada mentions here, basically the idea is that even though Kali was standing there personally and Dharma could have immediately said this fellow is the culprit, but Dharma, the bull, understands that this person may be the immediate cause of my suffering, but who is the ultimate cause? There is an immediate cause and there is an ultimate cause, and there is an intermediate cause. Just like a mosquito might come and bite us and we may get affected by malaria. So who is the immediate cause? The mosquito. But why we have got malaria and the others have not got? Because you may say that was my karma. I had to get this disease now. So the immediate cause is that mosquito. The intermediate cause is the karma that you have done before. But the ultimate cause is Krishna. Krishna sanctioned it, therefore it's happening. So Dharma is saying ultimately it's Krishna's will. Even when we are suffering, it's Krishna's will. So a devotee doesn't identify the culprit. He understands that I'm suffering, it's Krishna's will. In the Bhagavatam 10th canto, Brahmaji tells a very beautiful prayer. Very beautiful prayer. He says, Tatte anukampancha sumikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam Hridva Vapubir Vidadan Namaste Jivet Yo Mukti Sadhai Bhag. So Brahmaji says, who's a devotee? A devotee, even when he is undergoing suffering, and you can imagine the suffering of this bull here, standing on one leg, 3 legs gone, and the one who has caused this situation is still standing in front, but the bull doesn't identify him, doesn't call him the culprit. Why? Because Brahmaji explains, when a devotee undergoes suffering, and even in that suffering, a devotee sees Krishna's plan, and is thanking Krishna, such a devotee can actually attain the spiritual world. So, yes.
When Krishna only does everything, so even karmas are created with Krishna's will only.
No, we have our own.
See, we are surrendering everything to Krishna. Krishna only gives us everything is Krishna. So जब हम कर्म करते हैं वो भी तो कृष्ण ही हमसे करवाते हैं.
नहीं, Krishna has given all of us free will. भगवान कृष्ण ने सबको free will दिया है. If everything is done by Krishna, then there's no question of karma only.
But they say that God doesn't punish anybody, even to the worst devotees. जैसे we have seen this अजामिल. लास्ट में जब किसी एक बार भी आप कृष्ण का नाम लेते हो तो भगवान आपको माफ कर देते हैं.
या बट अजामिल, भगवान उसको माफ़ करते हैं, मतलब भगवान माफ़ करते हैं, पर उसको सीधा वैकुंठ नहीं मिलता, उसको और एक चांस मिलता है. देन ही प्रैक्टिसेस भक्ति एंड देन ही गोज बैक. डेफिनेटली कर्मा इज आवर ओन क्रिएशन. कर्मा इज आवर ओन क्रिएशन. So we have our own desires. Ultimately Krishna sanctions. When you say it's Krishna's will, matlab what? Krishna sanctions it. Just like a child, I'll give you a simple example. A child may come to a parent and says, give me 100 rupees, I want to go somewhere and do something. The parent may tell the child, don't do it. But if the child is still adamant, the parent will say, okay. But that okay doesn't mean that the parent wants you to do it. Okay doesn't mean the parent wants you to do it. The parent has sanctioned it, but his main desire is not that. The parent understands that this guy will not understand by I speaking, he will understand it the harder way. So he sanctions. So similarly, when we say that everything is happening by Krishna's will, doesn't mean that Krishna wants everyone to do all nonsense. That doesn't mean it. That's not the meaning of it. The meaning is what Krishna wants is already explained in the scriptures very clearly. So therefore we are explaining this principle, Shastra. Shastra is the message of Lord Krishna. So if you don't align with Shastra, Krishna will say, okay, you continue on your desires. But when those suffering comes, you will slowly start to realize. And then ultimately it's good. Ultimately Krishna's will is there. Even for the asuras, So basically we say that there are two loves of Krishna. There's a soft love and then there's a tough love. For devotees, Krishna's love comes in a different way. But for the demons, Krishna's love is there. Krishna comes and gives torture to the demons. Right? Krishna inflicts pain on them. Krishna kills the demons. That is also Krishna's love of way of rectifying them. That's the idea. You're getting the point? Okay, so let's continue back. So Prabhupada mentions here, a devotee doesn't identify with the immediate cause and doesn't say that he is the cause of my suffering. Even when he suffers, he understands that it's Krishna's will, Krishna's mercy. This is also Krishna's prasad. Probably I had to suffer a lot. Prabhupada gives this example. A devotee meets with an accident, right? A finger gets cut. How does a devotee think? The devotee thinks that probably I had to die in this situation. Krishna has given me, because of all the karma that I have done, sin I have done, Krishna has given me only a token. So this way a devotee is always happy and devotee doesn't identify the culprit. Text 19. Kechid vikalpa vasana ahur atmanam atmana daivam anne pare karma swabhavam apare prabhum. So Dharma says, some of the philosophers, so what was Parikshit's question? Who is the cause of your suffering? So Dharma says, how can I tell you, because there are many understandings. So some philosophers say that it is one's own self, kechit vikalpa vasana ahur atmanam atmanam. So some people say that it is oneself, atma, oneself, that is responsible for one's happiness and distress. There are some people who say daivam anye. Some people who say the demigods are responsible for my suffering. Right? You may say that the devatas, or the graha is not proper, therefore I am suffering. Someone may say, pare karma, it is my own karma because of which I am suffering. And someone may say, subhavam, it is my own nature because of which I am suffering. In this way, everyone has a different understanding. Or someone may say, prakriti, it is nature because of which we are suffering. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, just like we told you that 6 darshan, Shad darshan. So Jaimini Rishi and his followers, their understanding is karma is the cause of everything. Karma. So they say that even if God is there, God also has to follow the rules of karma. So therefore, karma is the cause of everything. And there are others, those who are followers of the Sankhites, the Sankhya philosophy. They say that Prakriti is the cause of everything. And there are those who are the philosophers of the followers of Gautama Kanad. They say that the atom is the cause of everything. And some people like Ashtavakra, they feel that Brahman is the cause of one's happiness and distress. But those who are devotees, they understand that the ultimate cause is Krishna. Sarva Karana Karanam. And that comes in the next verse, text 20. What is the Vaishnava understanding? Apratarkyad anirdeshyad itikeshu api nishchaya Antranurupam Rajarshe Vimrishya Swamanishaya. And then the bull says, there are some who think that one cannot ascertain the cause of one's suffering or distress by argumentation or imagination, nor express it in words. And in this way, the bull says, my dear king, you think with your own intelligence and come to the conclusion why I am suffering. So Prabhupada writes here, the devotees of Krishna, they understand that ultimately without the sanction, without the will of Krishna, nothing can happen. Krishna has sanctioned it, therefore I am suffering. So Prabhupada mentions here that when we are put into difficulty, generally we have this question, why I am suffering? But Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Gahana karmano gati. The system of karma is very, very complicated. Very difficult for anyone to understand why we are suffering. We saw, this is the 17th chapter, one of the chapters ahead, we saw the passing away of Bhishma Dev. And what does Bhishma Dev explain there? We saw that particular section where Bhishma Dev is looking at the Pandavas. And Bhishma Dev is telling the Pandavas, my dear Pandavas, you all are the sons of Dharma. Yudhishthira was the son of Dharma. So that means they have never committed any sin. Right? Why do people suffer because of sin? Pandavas, they have never committed any sin. Right? They are not only children of Dharma, they are the best friend of Krishna, best devotees of Krishna. And not only that, Arjuna and Bhima were the most powerful warriors. So they had everything. They had morality on their side, they had Krishna on their side, they had material power on their side. Still they suffered. How do you explain this? And then Bhishma Dev says, one cannot understand Krishna's plan. One cannot understand Krishna's plan. That's the conclusion. So Bhishma Dev correctly estimated the inconceivable actions of the Lord. So a devotee generally never has this question, why I am suffering. A devotee will never ask this question. A devotee understands that Krishna's will, I might have done some sin in the past, So devotee will never challenge Krishna, Krishna, I am such a great devotee of yours, why I am suffering. We are seeing this continuous theme throughout this Bhagavatam. When the Pandavas, they suffered, they never asked, right? Parikshit, Uttara, anyone, no one asked this question. And here this bull, he's standing on one leg, Kali, the one who's caused the situation is standing there, but the bull also doesn't call Kali the culprit. Nothing. So in this way, this is such a beautiful mood that we have to learn. Right? When something happens to us, we are very prompt in pointing out this person, that person, this person, that person. Very prompt. Very prompt. So here, dharma. So what is the principle of dharma that we have to learn? The principle of dharma is we have to stop pointing out at others. We have to stop pointing out at others. We have to understand that some sanction of Krishna is there. So in this way, who is responsible for our happiness and distress? There are different philosophies. The Advaitavadis, they say Atmanam, our own self. There are some people who say superhuman powers, devatas, the planets. Someone may say activity, someone may say prakriti, but ultimately the bull says that it's Krishna, but the bull here, in one sense, it doesn't even say Krishna. It says no one can ascertain the cause of one's happiness and distress. So now, when Parikshit heard this, Parikshit was so happy. Because generally, first of all, you don't get to meet a king so often. है कि नहीं? Generally, when you get to meet a king, imagine like you're getting to meet a chief minister or a prime minister, what will you do? You will immediately tell, this person is causing me these problems, please do something. Everyone is there to lodge a complaint. है कि नहीं? When an authority comes in front of you, what do you want to do? Lodge a complaint. Here, Dharma is not lodging a complaint. The king has come and the king is asking him, tell me what your problem is. Dharma is suffering, but the Dharma is not telling I am in problem. Dharma is suffering practically, but it's not telling I am in problem. So no complaint. So this is the devotee's mindset. Actually no complaint, ready to accept Krishna's will. Very, very simple and humble. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was very pleased. Text 21. Suta uvacha evam dharme pravadati sasamra dvija sattama samahitena manasa vikeda pradyachashtatam. Sutta Goswami said, when Parikshit heard this, Parikshit was fully satisfied and without any mistake or regret he gave his reply. So for a king, to find someone as citizen who says that I have no problem, I am not suffering, that's like a big thing. So Parikshit understood that this person is not an ordinary person. Raja uvacha dharmam bravishi dharmagya dharmosi vrisharupadrit yad adharma kritastanam shuchakasyapi tadbhavet. Oh, you are dharma only in the form of a bull. Dharmam bravishi dharmagya dharmosi vrisharupadrit. You have taken the form of a bull, but you are actually dharma. And why you are dharma? Dharmagya, because what you are speaking is perfectly according to the principles of dharma. Prabhupada often says, you can identify a fool by how he speaks. Like an intelligent man and a fool both look same, but you will be able to understand the difference by how they speak. Very clear difference you will understand. So Parikshit, and in English you also have the saying that it takes one to know one. Right? So Parikshit was also dharmagya. He knew the principles of religion and immediately identified that this person knows the principles of religion. And then Parikshit says something very important. Adharmakrit. So he says, what is the principle of religion? Anyone who identifies his preparator, anyone who identifies the culprit. So a culprit has committed sin, he has committed aparad, some offense. When you identify the culprit, then you also become part of the offense. Getting this point? This is like a very, very high principle. Someone may do an offense, but when you identify, you also become part of that whole thing. So this is such a beautiful mode, and Parikshit says you are non-different than dharma. So Prabhupada writes in the purport here, a devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. Therefore, he does not consider anyone to be directly responsible for his action. And in both cases, he takes it for granted that it is God sent. Just like Jesus Christ, Prabhupada gives us example. Jesus Christ was put into difficulty, but he was never angry on those people who putting him into difficulty. He understood that these people are giving my own karma back. So Jesus Christ was never angry. So in this way, Prabhupada says a devotee has no suffering because he understands that all suffering is God-given, God's grace. So therefore he has no complaints also. So this is the mood. So basically the mood of dharma of a pure devotee is no complaints, satisfied, and ready to see Krishna's plan in it. Krishna has some plan in it. Right? Just like Srila Prabhupada, when Prabhupada was a grihastha, he tried his best to continue his business Prabhupada had pharmaceutical shops in different places. But at some point, how much ever he tried, the business didn't work. It started to collapse. And then Prabhupada remembers this shloka which comes in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. Yasyaham anugranami harishit taddanam shane. Lord Krishna says, when I am very, very merciful to some devotee, I take everything away from him. So Prabhupada recollected that verse and he said, probably Krishna's grace that the business has collapsed. So in this way, Parikshit is very, very happy that Dharma is teaching him this principle. And what Parikshit is learning here, you will see in the next chapter, Parikshit applies it. This chapter 17, the next chapter is Parikshit is cursed. Now Dharma is being affected by Kali and Dharma doesn't call Kali the culprit. In the next chapter, you will see a boy Shringi curses Parikshit without any fault of his. And Parikshit doesn't identify, doesn't tell Shringi, you are the cause of my problem. Parikshit doesn't do that. So this is the principle that we have to learn. Understand Krishna's plan. Understand that Krishna's sanctioned plan and continue on. Text 23. Atava deva mayaya monam gatir agochara chetaso vachasaschapi bhutanam iti nishchaya. So Parikshit says, it is thus concluded that the Lord's energies are inconceivable. Deva mayaya agochara. Right? And no one can understand chetaso vachasascha. No one can understand Krishna's inconceivable arrangement by speculation or word jugglery. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport, we saw different causes of our happiness and distress. And what is the ultimate cause? The ultimate cause is Krishna. But why does the bull doesn't say Krishna? What is the conclusion the bull says? It's very difficult to ascertain the cause. But he doesn't say that Krishna is the cause. The understanding is that even Krishna is not directly responsible. So here Krishna, Deva Mayaya. Krishna, when he intervenes, how does Krishna intervene? Through his energies. So therefore, in one sense, Krishna is also not directly responsible. Krishna works through his energies. So in this way, Prabhupada mentions here that Dharma is like very clear and Parikshit is very happy that very difficult to understand Krishna's plans. Text 24. Tapa shocham daya satyam iti pada krite krita adharmam shchetrayo bhagna smya sangha madestava. Tapa shocham daya satyam iti pada krite krita. So Parikshit says, in the age of Satya, my dear Dharma, you had 4 legs. And what were these 4 legs? Tapa, Shocham, Daya, Satyam. The 4 legs of Dharma. Tapaha is austerity, Shocham is cleanliness, Daya is mercy, Satyam is truthfulness. These are the 4 legs of Dharma. So Parikshit says in Satyuga, Krite is Satyuga. In Satyuga had 4 legs. But now, because of increase of adharma, as the yugas pass, adharma increases. Lord Krishna tells, glani bhavati adharma. So the dharma reduces, adharma increases. So here Parikshit is saying, now 3 of your legs are gone. And why 3 of your legs have gone? Because of pride, lust for women and intoxication. 3 legs gone. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that Maya, when we speak about illusion, Maya Shakti has 2 parts, Prakshepatmika and Avaranatmika. Two aspects of Maya. What are the 2 aspects? Maya attracts others and then covers one's intelligence. That's what Maya does. First it attracts. The illusory things in this world attract, and once we are attracted by that, intelligence is covered. And in this way, people get trapped. And then Prabhupada explains in the purport, once you are trapped, it is very difficult to get out of Maya. But there is only one way, when we surrender to Krishna. Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamevaya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So Lord Krishna says, Maya is very difficult to overcome. Once caught, very difficult to get out. But when we surrender to Krishna, it is possible. And then Prabhupada mentions, How to surrender to Krishna? Only those who have these 4 qualities can surrender to Krishna. Tapa, Shaucham, Daya, Satyam. Only when you have these qualities. But in Kali Yuga, these qualities slowly all are going away. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport ahead how in Kali Yuga the lust for women is increasing so much. People smoke, drink, chew, tobacco, very, very common. And because of all this, there is corruption, there is bribery, and there is so many things. And Prabhupada mentions here, man cannot check all these evils simply by police vigilance. He has to cure the disease in the mind of people. And how is that cured? By advocating the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. So Prabhupada is saying just by making rules and laws, there's nothing that is going to happen. We have to cure the minds of people. And how do you cure? When Prabhupada mentions when the leaders and rich men spend their money in propagating Bhagavatam, spreading the message of Krishna, then only the minds of people can be cured. Otherwise, what is the possibility? There is no other possibility. So therefore, it's very, very important that in this age of Kali, the principles of Bhagavatam are preached far and wide, so that the mentality of people, the garbage in the minds of people are cured. Text 25. Idhanim dharma padaste satyam nivartayedyata tam jigarshati adharmoyam anretainaidita kali. Now you are standing on one leg. And what is the one leg of dharma that is there in Kali Yuga now? Satyam. Idhanim dharma padaste satyam nivartayedyata. So the only leg left in Kali Yuga is Satyam. But even that leg is being destroyed slowly. Even that leg is getting destroyed. So Prabhupada mentions that how one has to follow these principles. Prabhupada says austerity, tapasya means basically at least you follow some fasting, some Ekadashi Vrat like that. Cleanliness, Prabhupada mentions, externally taking bath, but internally the only way we can cleanse our heart, our consciousness is by chanting Hare Krishna. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. And then Prabhupada mentions here, the revival of Bhagavad Dharma can save human civilization from falling prey to the evils of all description. So the only hope for the people of Kali Yuga is the revival of Bhagavad Dharma. So therefore, immediately after this chapter, we will see Parikshit being cursed, and Parikshit goes and takes shelter of Shukdev Goswami and hears Bhagavatam. So therefore, if you want to stop Kali Yuga from infiltrating everything, the society, it's very important that Bhagavatam is preached more and more. Text 26. Iyam cha bhumir bhagavata nyasitoru bharasati SRIMAD bhistat padanyase sarvata krita kotuka. So Parikshit says, till now he was speaking to the bull, now he turns to the cow. Previously, the Supreme Lord came to this earth, and what did the Lord do? He relieved the burden of the earth, which was in the form of a cow. Even if you see Krishna Leela, even before Lord Krishna's advent, Dharti in the form of a cow only goes to Brahma, and Brahma takes Dharti and goes to Shir Sagar, and they pray for Krishna's appearance. So Krishna comes in this world because he sees Dharti crying, the cow crying. So Parikshit is saying here, when Lord Krishna came, earth was very, very happy, which we saw in the previous chapter also. Because Lord Krishna's footprint, lotus footprint, was always there on Mother Earth. That was previously. Now, so previously, how was earth? She was very, very happy. You can see here, Krishna is walking on earth and earth is very, very happy. Now what is the situation? Text 27. Shochati ashru kala sadhvi durbege vojita sati Abrahmanya nripa vyaja Shudra bokshanti mamiti. So when Krishna was present, Earth was very happy. Now, what has happened? She is crying, shochati, lamenting, ashru kala, eyes filled with tears. And why she is lamenting? She is lamenting that now Krishna is not ruling me, low class people are ruling me. And in this way she is crying. So Prabhupada writes here, in Kali Yuga, the same point Prabhupada is mentioning here, in Kali Yuga, people who are occupying the post of a ruler come by popular votes without any qualification. You don't need any qualification. You have to just have vote bank. That's it. What qualification you need? Absolutely nothing. So you don't need any qualification. And because you have such people who have absolutely no qualification, no culture, what will happen? These rulers, these rakshaks will become bakshaks. And Prabhupada says, these rulers, to satisfy their own senses, they will keep exploiting men, animals, resources, everything. And earth is crying because Dharti is seeing that all our children are suffering. Not only human beings, animals, plants, practically everyone is suffering. And then Prabhupada, the last sentence, Prabhupada says here, now in Kali Yuga, we cannot go back to that old system of having a king like Parikshit. Is it possible? Not possible, no? We can't go back. The democracy system is already there. What can we do? What is the hope? So Prabhupada says, in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teaching of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. So we can't go back to that old system of having a king like Parikshit. The system is already there in place. So the only thing that we can do is propagate SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM more and more. When people get educated in these principles, then what happens? They will become pure. And when people become pure, people become free from sin, the society will also become very, very happy. So that's the whole idea that Prabhupada is mentioning here, that, make the best use of the bad bargain. Kali Yuga is a bad bargain. The only thing that you can do is make the best use of it. Focus on Srimad Bhagavatam, focus on Bhagavad Gita, and focus on chanting of the holy names. I wanted to complete this chapter. We are in text 28, 45. Another 20-25 minutes we can complete. Yeah, we can do it the next time also. Next time. Information overdose. So thank you all very much. Anyone has any questions? Any comments? Yes. Which?
6 philosophies.
Sardarshan.
इसमें एक बात तो सामने आ रही है कि एक अष्टवक्र की जो है ब्रह्मन is the cause of misery. So Brahman means Maya? Or
No, Brahman means Krishna's Brahma Jyoti. So
that is Maya only, no? Outer.
No, it's not Maya. So basically, you have this verse in the scriptures that say Sarva Kala Ida Brahma, that everywhere is Brahman. Brahman is actually Krishna only, Krishna's impersonal aspect. So there is a Vyakta and Avyakta. When Krishna is present, the form of Krishna is a form that can be perceived, and there is a form of God that is imperceivable, right? Like Prabhupada gives us example, sun and sunshine. Sun has a form, sunshine is formless, right? But the idea is what? So Ashtavakra, this understanding is Brahman is the cause of everything. So when people refer to God, generally in Vedic scriptures, it's always Parabrahma, right? It's an indirect reference that it's Krishna only. Like in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you have Arjuna saying Parabrahma, Paramdhama. Krishna is a Parabrahma. But generally people have a very impersonal understanding. They feel that the cause of this entire world is Brahman. So that's the understanding. But we understand in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Lord Krishna says this Brahma Jyoti is also situated on me. So therefore, the ultimate understanding is that Krishna is the cause. Like, Prabhupada gives this understanding. That's like you have this moon, moonshine. In science, how do we learn what is moonshine? The moon reflects the light of the sun. So now where does sun get its light from? The sun reflects the light of Brahma Jyoti. Now where does Brahma Jyoti get its light from? Brahma Jyoti is a light coming from the body of Krishna. So ultimately it is coming from Krishna. So that's the understanding, Vaishnava understanding. Does it make sense to you?
I was confused. Brahman, I thought it's Maya. Brahman is the
Brahman is the impersonal aspect of, the energy aspect of Krishna.
प्रभु जी, कली को उनने माफ कर दिया, माफ क्यों किया? उसको भगा ही देते तो हम लोग परेशान थे।
Yeah, so
उनको माफ कर दिया, हम परेशान।
you will see, we'll see in this chapter, we didn't go towards the end. Parikshit wanted to kill Kali, but Kali was very intelligent. Kali took shelter of Parikshit. And Parikshit at that point, he starts to smile. He starts to smile because he understood that I wanted to kill, but this guy has taken shelter of me. And Parikshit understood that probably this is Krishna's will. Right? So
he's also saying, I am one of your subjects.
he also says, I'm one of your subjects. In that way, he surrenders. So Parikshit understood that this cycle had to continue. Right? It had to continue. Right? So Parikshit, what he did was, that's the point. So Parikshit focused on, see, you can't stop the flow of time. Parikshit knew that this phase is going to come of Kali. So Parikshit chose to focus on the best part of Kali Yuga. And the best part of Kali Yuga is chanting. Right? Just chant and then everyone is cured. So we will see towards the end of the chapter, Parikshit gave places to Kali, 4 or 5 places to Kali. But Parikshit spread Krishna consciousness so much, in one sense there was no place only for Kali. Right? So we will sing one bhajan and then end for today. Speaking about Kali Yuga, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written one bhajan, Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana. So people are fearful of Kali Yuga, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written one bhajan. Can you get one? Where he says, you don't have to fear Kali Yuga. Why? When you chant the names of Gauranga, the names of Krishna, there is no fear of Kali Yuga anymore. And therefore, Krishna comes again as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga to give us the holy names of Krishna. So we will sing this song. Gopal Swaran Prabhu sang one song before, I am singing one song later. This is page number 37. Did you all get it? Everyone has songbooks? I don't know whether we have so many songbooks, otherwise you all can share.
What are the wordings?
Kali Kukura Kadan Jadi Chao E. You all will find it online also. Did you all get it? Page number 37. Kali Kukura Kadan Jadi Chaho Hai. Kali Kukura Kadan Jadi Chaho Hai. Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana Shri Sachinandana Gao Hai. Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana Shri Sachinandana Gao Hai. Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana Shri Sachinandana Gao Hai. Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana Gadadhara Madana Nitayera Pranadana Advaira Prapujita Gaura. Nimani विश्वंभर श्रीनिवास ईश्वर भक्त समूह चित्त चोरा कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सचिनंदन गाओए कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सचिनंदन गाओए नदिया शशधर मायापुर ईश्वर नाम प्रवर्तन सूरा गृहजन शिक्षक न्यासी कुल नायक माधव राधा भवपूरा कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए सर्वभौम शोधन गजपति तारण रामानंद पोषण वीरा रूपानंद वर्धन सनातन पालन हरिदास मोदन धीरा कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए गजरस बावन दुष्ट मत शातन कपट विघाटन कामा शुद्ध भक्त पालन सूक्ष्म ज्ञान ताड़न चल भक्ति दूषण रामा कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए कलियुग पावन कलिमय नाशन श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए श्री सच्चिनंदन गाओए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौर निताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल I'll just tell you the meaning of the first line. Kali kukura kadan jadi chaoy. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Kali Yuga, which is like a powerful dog that is coming to attack you. Kali Yuga is like completely on the attack mode. So if you want to get free, jadi chaoy, if you want to get free from the fear of Kali Yuga, then what you have to do? The only hope is Kali Yuga pavana, Kali bhaya nashana, Shri Sachinandana gaoe. So that same Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sachinandan, and Mahaprabhu is who? Kali Yuga Pavana. He has come to purify Kali Yuga and to help people get rid of the fear of Kali Yuga. So Prabhuji had this question, why did Parikshit not kill Kali? Because one reason I told you is because he knew that this phase had to come, right? He didn't want to change the plan of Krishna. And also, we will see in the chapters ahead, because Kali Yuga entered, the first entry of Kali Yuga, where did Kali Yuga enter from? It entered through the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas got corrupted. That's what we will see in the next chapter. Shringi got corrupted, and that's how Kali entered. And because through that Brahmana, Parikshit was cursed, therefore we have SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. If Kali Yuga didn't enter, Parikshit wouldn't have got that curse. We wouldn't have SRIMAD BHAGAVATam. And if Kali Yuga didn't come, then we wouldn't have Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come here. So therefore, in some places it is said that even demigods worship Kali Yuga. It's a most degraded age, but demigods worship Kali Yuga. Why? Because in this age, just by chanting Hare Krishna, one can attain the spiritual world. So we have to focus on the best part of Kali Yuga, and then we'll get rid of the fear of Kali. So we'll continue this chapter the next time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Video.